Hello and welcome back to the barn. I've had a few messages, people asking me how did I fit the Sportster mufflers, silencers to the VN800. Well, I can actually sort of demonstrate that now. I can show you how it was done. I've seen it done on other bikes too. They may well have used a different method to me, but this is how I did it and it seems to work. So, what you need to do to start with is remove the heat shields. These heat shields here, you need to remove those. They're only held on with clips, like Jubilee clips, worm drive clips. Remove those, and that will expose the old original exhaust. And then what you do, you take a felt tip pen or a marker, and you just mark on the original exhaust, where the original exhaust comes, you mark where the heat shield finishes. Just mark where those heat shields end on the original pipe. And then you have to take your life in your hands and be brave, and you cut through the original, where the original mufflers are, you cut through just where those heat shields would end. You just cut through there, and then you'll need to weld on a sleeve just to space up the gap, because the mufflers that come off the Sportster are slightly bigger diameter than the original pipes. So what you need to do is just weld a little sleeve. I think mine was about 2.5–3 inches long. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it in there actually, but it's just a sleeve welded on there, which is covered by the heat shield when it goes back on, obviously. And that will take up the space for the Sportster silencers. Now there may be a chance that you can push a sleeve on there if it's interference fit. Just push it on with some silicone or whatever around the ends, and you may be able to clamp the Sportster silencer straight onto that without welding them. The clamp should hold it all tight together, but I went safety first and welded them on, so that's about the best way to do it, I think, really. And then you'll find the silencer, one of the Sportster silencers, the mounting bracket lines up almost perfectly with the bracket on the VN800 frame, which is here. But what I've done, I've fitted a rubber mount. It's an M8 thread. You need a rubber cotton reel mount, M8. Screw that into the frame, and then you'll need a spacer and a washer. I had to make a little spacer that allowed just a piece of scrap alloy that I had, and a washer, just to bring the size right. And you'll find that you can push the Sportster silencer on, and it will clamp to that bracket, which is extremely useful. That's for the front one, and you'll need to put some Loctite or some thread lock on that back one. Just to make sure that's all okay. And I would definitely advise using the original Sportster exhaust clamps. They're very good, they're nice and wide, and they are definitely the ones to use. So if you're going to do it, get the Sportster silencers and get the clamps as well. Now the silencers that you need are from the rigid mount Evo models, not the rubber mount models. So anything sort of like 1986 to 2003, they'd be the ones to use. Now for the back one, for the back silencer, what we had to do with this one, you turn it upside down as to what it would be mounted on the Sportster. You actually turn that silencer upside down, and you drill a hole in the arm that holds the original silencer. You drill an extra hole in there, put a cotton reel mount in, another cotton reel mount with a spacer behind it. You'll have to judge your own spacers. You'll have to see how thick you want them to be. And then I used a metal plate, just a steel plate, to extend out to get the correct position for the silencer. And that will then, the silencer goes upside down to what it would be on a Sportster, and it bolts through there. Now to go through there, I used to fit it, I used an M10 socket cap, which is absolutely ideal. So I'll put it back together loosely, and I'll show you how it all goes together.